Hey guys, this is Wart. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about none other than Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself, but this game has been announced, and it is time to talk about and speculate all things about Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm very excited and very eager, and I'm very happy that this game was announced way earlier than I was worried that it might be. As we know, the gaps between Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3 was pretty wide as an understatement, but thankfully the gap between 3 and 4 doesn't seem to be nearly as bad. But of course, with the announcement, we got a pretty exciting reveal trailer, and within the trailer we saw something that has piqued a lot of people's interest. It's the discussion about what Disney worlds we could be seeing in Kingdom Hearts 4. And the thing I'm talking about that seems so interesting is none other than Hades. It looks like teaming up with Donald and Goofy. Yeah, we see a little blue fire that turns red and gets really mad, and it looks like Donald and Goofy are looking for Sora in what I presume is the underworld in Hercules' world. Yeah, it seems pretty interesting, pretty straightforward. I don't know what else you guys think I might have been talking about. We'll get to that if we have time. All right, we'll think about it. But yeah, Donald and Goofy looking for Sora in the underworld. It makes sense because I guess in the Kingdom Hearts universe, Sora is technically kind of dead, which is a little grim, but it makes sense that they'd be looking for him there. So I guess Hercules is the first world we kind of have semi-confirmed. And of course, it looks like we're probably going to be exploring the underworld of, Hercules land instead of Olympus, the kind of overworld of Hercules land. Something we explored pretty well in Kingdom Hearts 3. We're going to be going underground now instead, which is pretty cool. I'm down for it. Just a new change of pace, and Hercules is a fan favorite staple in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Hopefully the Olympus Coliseum comes back as well. That's what we can hope to see. And there you go. Hercules is likely semi-confirmed for Kingdom Hearts 4. However, besides that, we also have another sneak peek of something that looks like a very forest-heavy, foliage, wooded area, and an at foot. Yes, of course I'm talking about the thing everyone's talking about, and that is Star Wars possibly coming into Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'm going to be honest, I'm on board. I think I really am excited and hopeful that this is going to happen. Star Wars is a personal favorite franchise of mine, along with pretty much everyone out there. I know people have their complaints about Star Wars, and a lot of people don't know if it would really mix with Kingdom Hearts very well. Honestly, just seeing this gets me excited. I think it's pretty well assumed that is what's going on here. It is an at foot. If it's not, if it's just some weird looking rock and we're going back to Tangled Land or something, I think most people would be pretty disappointed, but hopefully it is Star Wars, and we're going to be battling stormtroopers and teaming up with Luke Skywalker to take down Darth Vader. Hopefully that's exactly what's going on here. I definitely think it can work. And I know some people are kind of worried about the realistic looking vibe of Star Wars. I say realistic looking. It's literally a live action film series. And honestly, just look at Pirates of the Caribbean. They nailed it in Pirates of the Caribbean, and also look at the reveal trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. It looks semi-realistic. It looks beautiful. Sora looks amazing in this trailer. And I think Kingdom Hearts and Star Wars is going to happen. I think it's going to turn out to be pretty cool. So that's the other world we kind of have semi-confirmed for Kingdom Hearts 4, which is just crazy. We have Hercules and we have Star Wars. And again, I don't know if we're going to be doing Star Wars universe or just Endor or what. I would assume maybe we go fight on the Death Star. We fight maybe on Tatooine or Hoth or something along with Endor, but one step at a time, people. I'm just super stoked to see what we're going to get in this game in terms of Star Wars content. And of course, with the addition of Hercules as well, we can kind of assume we're not just going to be seeing Star Wars, which is thankfully very good. And we have a lot of other things we can speculate about what we might see besides these two worlds. So the first one I want to talk about is a returning world, and that is going to be Toy Story. I think it's pretty obvious, or it seems pretty clear to me, that Toy Story was not a one-and-done thing, the way we left it in Kingdom Hearts 3. A lot of people believe that Toy Story and Toy Box was the best world in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. That was a really fun adventure in the Toy Story world, and Toy Story, again, is a super popular franchise with Pixar and Disney, and again, in Kingdom Hearts. It just fits in together so well. So I'm excited to return to Toy Story, especially also the reason, plot-wise, this is where Yozora and Verum Rex was introduced in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So we're probably going to go talk to Rex and be like, hey, what's going on with Verum Rex? What's going on with Yozora? Can you tell us more? What do you know? And of course, from there, antics go on and whatever. Just kind of makes sense plot-wise to return to Toy Story. And again, like I said, it's a fan favorite, film franchise. It's a film, fan favorite world in Kingdom Hearts. I think it just makes a ton of sense for Toy Story to return. And on the topic of returning worlds, I think the other one that seems pretty, clear and evident that it'll likely come back is Frozen. Frozen 2 came out around the same time Kingdom Hearts 3 did, so of course it wasn't included in Kingdom Hearts 3, and we're probably going to return to Arendelle, hopefully a more fleshed out Arendelle, but it just seems like those worlds are lending themselves really well to be fleshed out in Kingdom Hearts, and of course, Frozen is a super popular IP with Disney, and it's definitely going to turn some heads if it's once again in Kingdom Hearts 4, and again, it feels like our story could definitely do a lot of cool stuff in Frozen, exploring the story of Frozen 2, which was definitely a little bit more of a epic adventure than the first Frozen, and I definitely think that could lend itself more into being a little bit better of a world for Kingdom Hearts. I don't think Arendelle was necessarily a bad world in Kingdom Hearts 3, but definitely one of the lesser, not as interesting ones. I think it could be improved upon in a Frozen 2 version of that world. So those three are the worlds that I think are pretty confidently going to be coming back. The other ones I want to throw out there, maybe Pirates of the Caribbean. It was a really great world in Kingdom Hearts 3. The realistic look was perfect, and it could definitely be done again in Kingdom Hearts 4, considering what we've seen so far of Kingdom Hearts 4. I think Pirates can make a lot of sense, but I do want to say that I think there's another world that could be coming into Kingdom Hearts 4 that makes a little bit more sense and a very similar kind of island adventure theme. I think you guys know what I'm getting at, but may as well talk about it now. Let's talk about Moana. Yeah, we had Tangled, we had Frozen, and then the next big Disney IP that came out after that is Moana, and I think it's a pretty safe bet that Moana is going to be coming in Kingdom Hearts 4, and I'm stoked. I actually think Moana is one of my personal favorite newer Disney animated movies. I think that movie is incredible and amazing and beautiful, and I really want to see it happen in Kingdom Hearts 4 because it also makes a lot of sense with the Destiny Islands theme. It definitely seems like a perfect kind of beach world, summer world for Sora. He even says in that Frozen world, he says, "I'm an islander," and this is more like it for Sora and the gang. Definitely some islands to visit and venture around with. Moana and the Rock. I forgot the Rock's name. What's his name? I forgot. But the dude in Moana, that's really cool. They'll definitely team up with him and fight some evil deities and demons and whatnot. That world just seems perfect for Kingdom Hearts. I think it's almost a shoo-in for this next game. On top of that, one I do feel semi-confident about is Zootopia, which is another big Disney movie that came out roughly the same time Kingdom Hearts 3 did. I think it was actually after it. I don't know the timeline exactly, but I definitely know that one is likely on the radar for the Kingdom Hearts team to adapt, and I think you could do it really well. We already did a Disney world where they transformed into animals. I think it could happen again. Obviously, Donald and Goofy don't need to do much changing and transforming, but Sora, if he turns back into a lion like he did in that Lion King world, or whatever he wants to turn into, I think could definitely work. So I think that Zootopia is definitely on the list as well. There's a couple other, more modern Disney movies. Raya and the Last Dragon as well is one that's very much so a grand epic adventure. It could definitely happen in Kingdom Hearts. The only problem with that one is that I don't think that movie really lit the world on fire. I don't think people were too fond of that movie or really did a lot in the box office or anything. I don't think it's a really big new Disney IP. I could be wrong though. I thought the movie was alright. Didn't really have any complaints about it. I thought it was alright. And I definitely think it could lend itself to a Kingdom Hearts world, but again, I definitely think things like Moana and even Zootopia are more likely. Then besides that, another one is Encanto. I think Encanto is almost a lock for a future Kingdom Hearts world. I don't know about Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't know how far out the development is in Kingdom Hearts 4, but I do know that Encanto is a new movie that lit the world on fire more recently than, when they would be developing and working on the storyboard and planning for Kingdom Hearts 4. Encanto seems a little bit newer, and it would be a little bit of a challenging world as well, considering Encanto can take place almost entirely inside one house in one very, very small village. It's a great film. I loved Encanto. However, I don't know if Kingdom Hearts 4 is exactly where it will take place in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Maybe a spin-off, maybe a future Kingdom Hearts title, maybe Kingdom Hearts 4. What do I know? We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so those are the big ones I want to talk about. However, there are a couple other even possibly bigger ones to throw out there, and that is talking about the other counterpart of a realistic Star Wars. That is maybe seeing a realistic Marvel superhero world. Honestly, I don't think I'm quite as excited about this possibility as I would be with Star Wars. I just feel like Marvel feels very, very separate than everything else Disney. It's definitely a part of Disney, but just feels so separated as compared to Star Wars, which feels like it's pretty well integrated and intertwined at this point in time. That could just be me and my personal opinion, but I don't know how I feel about, Sora and the gang teaming up with Captain America and Iron Man. I know there's one possibility where a lot of people would be saying the same thing about teaming up with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, I'm not too thrilled at a Marvel world or the concept of one. If we were going to do a Marvel world, I think the one I would prefer would be Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's the kind of dynamic that fits best with Kingdom Hearts, and I would definitely be down to see that, or at least to see how that would work, you know, teaming up with Rocket Raccoon and Drax and Groot and whatnot. I think that kind of scene works a little bit better with Kingdom Hearts. I definitely would be down to see if that would work well as a Kingdom Hearts universe exploration side quest sort of deal. I'm kind of thinking how there was that one situation in the Lilo and Stitch world. We went to a Lilo and Stitch world in quotes. We went to a spaceship that was holding all the Lilo and Stitch stuffs. Maybe we do a similar thing like that. We visit the Guardians of the Galaxy ship and explore a little planet. I don't know exactly, but I think that could work if we're going to do some kind of Marvel thing. I'd probably prefer Guardians of the Galaxy. But again, we could do Avengers and Spider-Man. Probably not Spider-Man because that's more Sony. That's just another bag of worms, ball of wax to deal with. But, you know, Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and Hulk and all those things. It could happen. It's on the table, and I got to bring it up. It's definitely a possibility. And also another one that I think is a possibility that I don't think nearly enough people are really bringing attention to. This is Pandora. Yeah, what about Avatar Land from Pandora from Avatar coming into Kingdom Hearts? That would be something. That would be a very, very interesting situation, and I don't know if I exactly want that to happen. I don't think it would be the end of the world. I think Pandora is a beautiful world to explore in, and it's just a very well fleshed out universe, considering it's only one movie and already have a pretty good grasp of what the world and culture is like. I think that's pretty impressive. I know we're talking about movies now for some reason, but Pandora is a pretty impressive place, and I definitely think it could make an interesting Kingdom Hearts world. However, I don't know if people are really dying to see Avatar. Avatar is not nearly as popular as something like Star Wars or even Marvel, and I don't know. I really don't think that one is a must, but I definitely want to throw it on the table because I think it's in the world of possibility, similar to the Marvel and Star Wars and Pirates kind of situation of live-action Disney stuff now, considering Disney does own Avatar. Okay, so besides Avatar, which definitely seems a little bit out there, let's reel it back to something that I think is pretty much a lock, and that is at least one or two other Pixar worlds. We already got Toy Story, which I definitely think is coming back, and then we had Monsters, Inc., which I doubt is coming back. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I like the Monsters, Inc. world, but we're probably going to see another new Pixar world come in, considering there's so many to choose from. But where exactly do we start? Now, I'm just going to list them off. We got Up, Ratatouille, Bugs Life, Finding Nemo, Wreck-It Ralph, Incredibles, Coco, WALL-E, Brave, Inside Out, Cars, Onward, Soul, and Luca. Probably forgetting a few as well, but those are all possible on the table. Especially Cars. It's totally going to be Cars. I'm kidding. Cars, there's almost no shot we see Cars. That would be insane. But it might happen. Who knows? But yeah, let's go ahead and break this down a little bit and talk about the most likely of these Pixar movies and my personal opinion of why exactly I think they're semi-likely. First off, Bugs Life. You know, if we're just going in chronological order, semi-chronological, I suppose. You know, we got Toy Story. We go Bugs Life next. And Bugs Life, I think, would make a pretty solid world all around. I don't really see why it wouldn't. It'd be pretty interesting. Another one is Incredibles. You know, if we're just looking at the popular Kingdom Hearts or Pixar worlds, Incredibles is up there. People love the Incredibles. I think it would be really fitting for a Kingdom Hearts, you know, franchise battle or whatever. Definitely makes a lot of sense. You know, superhero stuff makes a lot of sense as well. You know, we had Big Hero 6, Incredibles this game would make sense. And of course, if we do Marvel, I don't know if we should double dip on the superheroes. If we have, you know, Captain America and Mr. Incredible, I don't know if we really need both of those, but at least, you know, probably Incredibles would seem a little bit more likely to me. And then also Coco. Now, this one seems a little bit out there, but I want to mention specifically why. One, it was a pretty popular movie that I personally love, so a little bit of bias there. I think Coco was incredible. However, the world of Coco deals with the afterlife, again, much like, Hercules, until going into the underworld to look for Sora. A very similar situation could happen with Coco, going into the land of the dead that movie takes place in, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. I would love to go there with Sora and the gang. I think that would be incredible. And hopefully that is what we see as one of the Pixar worlds. Another one I want to bring up that seems pretty likely or semi-likely is Wreck-It Ralph. Considering, talk about earlier, the other big plot line of this is the video game stuff. Talking to Rex, figuring out what's going on with Verum Rex and Yozora. Definitely going into Wreck-It Ralph, a video game itself. Talking about, hey, what the heck is the deal with video games and how are they real and how are they also not real? I think that'd be a really cool conversation to go into the Wreck-It Ralph world and definitely have to do, the Candy Rush race and doing some kind of arcade mini games and whatnot. Of course, we probably wouldn't see things like Pac-Man and Mario and Street Fighter or whatever it was actually in the Wreck-It Ralph original film. I don't think those would cross over like this. We had Sora and Smash, so maybe. I doubt it though. Really don't think that needs to happen, but just going through the kind of, candy race world and I don't know, whatever else is in that game. Or in that movie, excuse me. I think it's just Wreck-It Ralph's little house thing you smash up or whatever. It's been a while. I love that movie though. But yeah, I think that will pretty much cover it. So, with all the things I said, I'm going to go ahead and run down my official, sort of, in quotes, official, it means nothing, it's just my opinion, kind of movie predictions and whatnot. First off, Star Wars. I think that one is hopefully happening. If we're getting, misreading the trailer for whatever reason and it's not Star Wars, that would be kind of a bummer at this point because I think that would be awesome. So of course, Star Wars, and then Toy Story is the other one I'm pretty confident in, and then Frozen as well. Also Hercules, probably should have mentioned that earlier, but yeah, Hercules is semi-confirmed. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say Moana and Zootopia are pretty likely as well. And then on top of those two, we also have, I'm going to go ahead and say Wreck-It Ralph and Coco, which I know seem kind of random Pixar movies, but I think both of those fill in a very specific kind of conversation that's going on with this game. Coco with the afterlife. Of course, you could argue Soul as well, deals with a very similar subject, so maybe we go talk to the Soul people. But I think that one, again, is a little bit maybe too new. I think Coco lines up a little bit better, at least timing-wise. I think that one would be awesome. And then Wreck-It Ralph as well, with the video game conversation with Verum Rex and Yozora. I think Wreck-It Ralph makes a lot of sense thematically because of that. So, there you go. There are my official 8 sort of very, very, very early predictions. There's a ton of other possibilities out there as well. I personally would love to see a Jungle Book, world, maybe a Princess and the Frog world. I'd love to see some other, worlds come back, like, what is it? Agrabah, Aladdin. I love that world. We haven't seen it in a while. I don't know. There's a million other things out there that I could talk about, but I think we're going to wrap up the video here and just sort of, throw out these 8 for now to play with. Also, 100 Acre Wood. Gotta mention that one. I have it in my notes. I read right over it. 100 Acre Woods, not Anchor, excuse me. 100 Acre Woods to Winnie the Pooh. That's pretty much a lock. It's in every single kind of Kingdom Hearts game. So there you go. There are the 9 worlds that I think are pretty likely happening in Kingdom Hearts 4, at least based off one trailer with 2 very, very tiny sneak peeks of the worlds. We'll just have to wait and see how wrong I am, because I'm sure I will be, but I think this is a pretty nice variety of worlds. Pretty excited to see what way the heck we actually do end up getting in Kingdom Hearts 4. I definitely want to talk about more Kingdom Hearts stuff leading into the build-up of Kingdom Hearts 4. Could we talk about this for years? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Kingdom Hearts related stuff. I'll definitely be talking more about the franchise, at least here, hopefully sooner rather than later. And let me know if you agree or disagree with my predictions and opinions on whatever. So, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time, and bye-bye.